it's the right time to make this video. To also, that one guy that asked for the White House card video, I apologize that around that time I wasn't able to make that video. Like the day, like literally the day he commented, I think it was on like a Friday or a Saturday. And I told him, oh, I couldn't make the video. And then he said, oh, there's the next day. Of course, the next day I was also still unable to make the video, sadly. And because that was a video that I actually wanted to do, the White House card. And I was never able to get through to it. Apologies for enough here, like the trash truck. But yeah, this is my small little octagon. This is where I ended up able to get 2 figures of the UFC. I got Alex Pereira, John Jones, and Ilya Topuria. All 3 of them from the guy that was selling it in like a market, but it was a really good price on where I got it. Let's get right into the predictions. I'm gonna try to make this a little bit quick because I also have a couple more videos I wanted to film as well. So we'll begin with the first fight of the main card. Normally last time I did the prelims, but right now I'm gonna do the main card only exclusively so I can get through it pretty quickly and get to the main event. Of course, many people are here just to hear the main event, but the White House card, I did do like the entire prediction. It's on my community post that I put my prediction. Almost every single one of them are right. I went 6-1. The only fight I got wrong was Topuria versus Gaethje. July 11, Conor Mcgregor versus Max Holloway, UFC 329. We start off with the first fight of the night, well, of the main card. This one's actually a good fight. Bobby Green, or King Green, versus Terrence McKinney. Those of you, because I know there's going to be a lot of casuals watching this video and watching the fight itself, Terrence McKinney and Bobby Green is going to end in the first round. I can guarantee you that. It's going to end in the first round. Either Terrence McKinney knocks out Bobby Green or McKinney gasses out and gets knocked out either in the first round, maybe even in the beginning of the second round, but he tends to lose in the first round or win in the first round. That's exactly how I think that one is gonna go. So who am I gonna pick in this fight? Bobby has a style where he fights with his hands down, and sometimes I'm a fan of it, sometimes I'm not. I usually am not a big fan of it because, come on man, put your hands up. But Terrence McKinney's really wild, and Bobby Green's hands down. Every shot that Terrence McKinney's gonna attempt to throw, whether it's a flying knee or, I don't know, a double punch fist overhand, I have no idea, because sometimes Terrence McKinney pulls some random things, and sometimes they work, a lot of the times they fail. But I'm probably gonna lean towards Terrence McKinney knocking out Bobby Green. I'm still kinda undecisive on it, so I might change my pick, because I really wanna lean towards Bobby Green, because I can see the round ending in the first, and if it doesn't end in the first, McKinney is gonna fade. Actually, I'm gonna pick Bobby Green. I'm picking King Green by the second round TKO. Not in the first. I'm picking second round, but the fight should end in the first round. The next fight, Brandon Royval versus Loner Kavanaugh. Now, Loner Kavanaugh, I'm actually really high on him. I really like him. His one loss came to Charles Jourdain, I think that's his name. No, that's not his name. Charles Johnson, there you go. He got knocked out in that fight, and then after that I think he fought one more time, and then fought Brandon Moreno, or fought Brandon Moreno right after. But when he fought Brandon Moreno, I called as well that Loner Kavanaugh was going to beat him. Kavanaugh literally beat the brakes out of Brandon Moreno pretty decisively. And Brandon Royval is a guy that if he can pick you apart at range, and 67-inch reach advantage, and Brandon Royval has a 68-inch reach advantage. It's actually okay. Never mind. I was going to lean Kavanaugh because I feel Kavanaugh can get on the inside and do really well. But now that the reach advantage is even closer, I'm definitely going Kavanaugh now. Brandon Royval, his last fight with Manel Kape, got knocked out. It could be that the chin is possibly now either declining. I doubt it though, because he's like 33 years old. And the height, I mean, Brandon Royval has a height advantage, but I think Kavanaugh can land, and I think Kavanaugh might actually just knock him out, possibly in the third round. I could see Brandon Royval do really good early and then lose late by knockout, or win the 2 rounds and then loses the third round by KO. I'm gonna lean towards a loner Kavanaugh by TKO in the third or a decision, but I'm leaning more towards a TKO. The next fight, sorry if you heard that, that's my dog sleeping. The next fight, Corey Sandhagen versus Mario Bautista. Mario Bautista, he used to be known as the guy that clinches him up against the fence. Obviously now he doesn't seem to do that anymore. And Corey Sandhagen, he's like the technician maestro, as everyone likes to call him, the beakers and test tubes. He's a really fun fighter to watch as well, because he's actually really intelligent with the stuff that he does. And Mario Bautista, I would say, is pretty basic, throwing 1-2s, throwing like basic fundamental punches. And he ends up landing a lot of those fundamental punches. So, really, in that fight, it's really gonna be, I guess, who's more craftier. I actually do think that Corey's more craftier, especially with the movement Corey has. He can move around really well. And Mario Bautista, I mean, I think he's coming off the loss to Umar, or the win against Patchy Mix. And Patchy Mix, I don't rate him highly. I used to rate Bellator fighters pretty high in ONE FC, but seeing these guys come over and not do well, yeah, I'm not gonna start falling for the Bellator mythical fighters and all that kind of stuff that we never known about him. So I'm not picking Mario Bautista, and I'm not picking Bellator fighters ever again. But I'm not picking Mario Bautista, I'm picking Corey Sandhagen by a decision. I think it'll be a good fight, like a tit for tat kind of fight. I think Corey wins that fight. The next fight, Benoit Saint Denis versus Paddy Pimblett. This fight's actually going to be fun. Both guys do not move their head. Benoit especially does not move his head. I can't really see Paddy knocking him out. Paddy isn't really a knockout guy. He's a submission guy. It should be actually really fun, the grappling, and Benoit's a marauder. He comes forward, takes you down, and he forces his will on you. He imposes his will. And I think Paddy as well is going to be throwing some submissions, and possibly we're going to see some really, 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 really sick scrambles. But actually, no, my prediction, I lean towards Paddy Pimblett being the better grappler out of the two, and ends up getting the sub over Benoit. I think with Benoit, you know, he's been in the military for some time, and I think now we're entering the era of MMA where you have to start young, and I think Benoit started like possibly late. Probably must have started doing MMA when he was in the military, and you know, it gives you some advantages, but eventually it catches up. That's why people like Islam and Taporia are at the top of where they are. And even though like Taporia lost, he's still up there. He's still one of those kinds of guys, because I would say it's because he started around, I think, 4 years old in Greco-Roman, and Islam started Sambo at 8. We're getting to that era now where they're starting really young. And ultimately, I'm gonna lean towards Paddy Pimblett by a submission in the second round. I think Benoit probably makes a mistake on the ground and gets submitted. So that's how I'm gonna lean in. Conor McGregor versus Max Holloway. Now this fight, on paper, it's an obvious win for Max Holloway to win the fight pretty easily, because Conor hasn't fought in 5 years. He might look rusty, he might look bad, he might be slow, his reflexes won't be there. been also active, and the guys he's been fighting, like Taporia, Oliveira, Dustin, and Justin. You know, he's fighting just straight killers, while Connor has been on the sidelines, messing around in the yacht, and probably doing some stuff they shouldn't be doing. And, you know, Connor did say it pretty well that he had like a 5-year break, so he took less damage. And in some ways, I do believe him in that whole thing that Max could be compromised in the fight because of how many times he's been fighting, and because of the fact that Taporia cracked his chin. And I don't know if you guys have noticed it, but ever since Taporia knocked him out, Max has been getting dropped more consistently. And in the Charles fight, he got hurt in that fight as well. When the moment they were striking, Max got hurt. And it's just, I just think Max's durability is going down since Taporia cracked him. You know, Gaethje dropped him, and Gaethje was possibly the first to drop him. Or I might be wrong, but I guess like Gaethje dropped him, but Gaethje, you know, he hits hard. But it's just someone like the power of Taporia that was able to put Max away and crack him, hurt him, and drop him, you know. I think, yeah, Taporia was the reason of Max's chin kind of declining a little bit, you could say. I just think Conor McGregor's gonna catch him on with the left. No, but seriously, I might actually lean towards Conor McGregor. And here's my logic. UFC 6 came out. Max Holloway's on the cover. That's all I'm gonna say. And if you really need evidence and you don't like, and you say, I don't believe in curses, I don't believe in any of this kind of stuff, listen. UFC went at John Jones and Alexander Gustafsson. Gustafsson lost to Jones, and Jones ended up, I think, getting the DQ loss around that time as well. Or like after the Gustafsson fight. I'm not sure. I don't really remember that one, but I know something happened to Jones around that time. UFC 2 was Conor McGregor and Ronda Rousey. Ronda Rousey got knocked out by Holly Holm. Conor McGregor got choked out by Nate Diaz. UFC 3, Conor McGregor again. That's when he fought Khabib, and Khabib submitted Conor McGregor. Then UFC 4, Israel Adesanya and Jorge Masvidal. Jorge Masvidal ended up losing the first fight to Usman by the boring decision, and then after got knocked out. And then Israel Adesanya, around that time he went in the fight Jan Blachowicz, and he lost that fight. Then comes UFC 5, Alexander Volkanovski, Valentina Shevchenko, and Israel Adesanya again. Adesanya got beat by Strickland 50-45, and then Volkanovski got knocked out by Ilia Topuria. Then Shevchenko got submitted by Alexa Grasso. Then, of course, ended up getting the draw right after. Of course, winning the fights later, but still, the initial time those games get released, or not the game gets released, but the cover gets revealed, the fighter loses a fight after that cover has been released. And this time we have UFC 6. We have Alex Pereira, Israel Adesanya with his shoulder again, and Max Holloway. And Alex Pereira just lost to Cyril Gane at the White House. So, hey, I'm telling you, Max is gonna get knocked out, and I'm picking Conor McGregor by knockout in the second round. I think Max tries to come in with the combination. Conor counters him with the left. Max falls down flat but tries to get back up. Conor lands some shots of hammer fist on the ground, and then potentially Max goes out in between those shots where the stoppage happens, or it's either premature, that's a little early, or Max just goes out. But yeah, thank you so much for watching, and for the guy that asked for the White House video, I'm glad. I hope you enjoyed this one. I was literally thinking about you when I was making the video. I was like, you know what, let me try another MMA sort of video, and let me just give it a go, and just do it every now and again to fill in on like my two videos a week, so I could just fill that one in every now and again. I might just do big cards, or maybe UFC